was telling him on the way in, the last year has been crazy for you. How are you doing health-wise?
Yeah, I'm good. You may or may not know, some of you may or may not know, I had severe sepsis in August, and I was
in a coma.
On life support for 3 days and in a coma, and it's been challenging, to say the least.
I don't even know the questions to ask for that. It's just such an intense thing to find out because I was not watching the news. I've been kind of laid out with our family stuff.
Course.
And so I was like, oh my God, like I can't even imagine just, when you just wake up and you're just like, what happened?
It really, it really makes you really think about life and your mortality and what one really wants to do.
Yeah.
And I've always been a person who does what I want to do, but like this has even sort of heightened the calling.
Yeah.
And sort of how I follow said calling. It's more intense than it's ever been, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
I'm grateful to be alive. I'm a miracle. I'm a walking miracle.
Amen. You got a lot of well wishes. This was a random one. I didn't know you knew Prince William. I was like, you're up here getting like Prince William notes in the hospital. I was like, what?
I got a get well letter from Prince William. So I was called to host Prince William's charity, Prince William's Foundation, I guess, the Earthshot Prize, and you know, he's dedicated to making the world a better place to live in, the environment, all that stuff. It's like, oh, how do you make leather out of mushrooms? It's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
like innovative sciences.
Yeah, innovative sciences, yes. And he gives $5 million to 20 different things all together, and 5 win.
Yeah.
And so he asked me to come and host it.
Yeah.
And like I said, how did I get here? And they were like, Prince William asked for you. So I didn't know that I was on his radar, but I guess I am.
Damn.
And so when I got sick, I got a get well letter from Kensington Palace from the Prince. It was very, very high class.
I love that sounds like an adult, legit science fair.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Very much so.
Which I think is so exciting.
Very, very, very much so. It was so inspiring, too.
That's what I mean. I would love to go to that, yeah.
We can do things that help the planet. We can.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful to be around those people and to see all of the work that they're doing. It was great.
And just how people's minds work. It's just inspiring to be around, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on the new book.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's different? Other than a memoir, obviously, a children's book's very different.
So, you know, I wrote a memoir by myself, essentially. And then it came to the children's book.
Yeah.
And Daddy needed a little help.
Yeah.
You know, they called in Chris Clarkson, your namesake, to help me with the text.
Yeah.
And
it is funny when they come in. Yeah.
He really distilled all of the ideas into something that was really clear and really profound at the same time.
I'm wondering if it was hard for you, because I did a couple of children's books as well, and it was so funny because David, my editor, I was like, I think because of how my brain works musically, your brain works musically.
Yeah.
I hear things almost melodically, and like it was so funny because he was like, yes, but it needs to be different, like the syllables, like where they land and everything. And I was like, this feels so wrong to me.
It's like a haiku.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I was
every
like,
page and every thought is like a haiku. Like, it's interesting. And when you see it, when you see the end product, you're like, oh, okay, thank you.
Well, and
thank you.
But the whole time you're going like, dude, I write songs. We're good. I was like,
I write songs, I write books,
I write songs, and it's all rhyming. You know, the books were, so I thought, I've got this. And it was like, oh no, I suck. Cool. Okay, cool. I was like, he sent back the notes, and I was like, what did you like? I was like, wait, what?
They didn't like none of mine.
It is a different way of thinking, which is also just fun to be around. And it challenges you. I'm always a student. I love being a student,
Always.
so it's fine. But I usually feel like I'm a better student. But yeah. I mean, look, this is a perfect time to talk about it. The illustrations are gorgeous.
The illustrations, you know, it took me about 2 years to find the illustrator, Charlie Palmer. And what I wanted was...
It's elevated for...
That's what I'm... Thank you for saying that. I wanted
not to be rude to
No. And I wanted it to be elevated on purpose because I wanted it to feel aspirational. And I wanted it to be able to travel with the kids as they grow up and sort of sit on a coffee table when they're adults, because it feels right in that space. And Charlie really did a good job, you know, balancing
that. Yeah, I agree. It's beautiful. You feature a drawing of your mother.
Yes.
How did that have to fit? You always had that?
Yeah, you know, my mom was disabled, and she raised my sister and I essentially on her own. And they said, you know, she probably wouldn't make it past 30, and she probably would never be able to live on her own. And she defied all those odds, and she lived on her own until she was 70. And she spent the last 8 years of her life in the Actors Fund Nursing Home over here in Englewood, New Jersey. She was a remarkable woman. You know, she was the personification of what true Christianity really is. You know, I came out as gay at 16 in 1985, and she was a really religious woman. And she always says, you know, it's you and your sister that helped me evolve. You know.
Well, speaking of like finding your voice, getting back out there, we were talking about in the break too, like just recently you've been like getting back out there and like singing. What is that like? Like what is, I hear that Ryan Murphy also helped you with Pose, right? With your...
You know, I came into the Ryan Murphy universe with Pose. You know, I really felt like I was there to support this new form of storytelling with the trans girls. And he pulled me aside one day and he said, you know, you're the lead. You know, you're my male lead, and I need you to sit on your throne. It's time. You know, the world has never seen what a gay, Black leading man looks like, and it's you.
No pressure.
So let's go. Yeah, I know, no pressure at all. But I was ready. You know what I mean? Like I was already 48 years old at the time, you know what I mean? It was my first series regular. I was grown. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready, and it was great to be ready.
I think also it probably wasn't just about for you, but for you to lead so the others can see that.
Right,
you know,
and I had also lived through the AIDS crisis, and I was one of the only ones who was around, who had lived it, who was bringing that to the series. Sandra Bernhardt came season 2. So we, you know, we had a lot of work together. It was very, very special for me to have lived long enough to be able to tell the story of my community where we just lost so many.
And you're not just speaking about it, you were there.
I was there,
You're returning to Broadway. Are you excited?
Well, I'm returning to off-Broadway. With the hopes of going to Broadway.
It's still just that live theater aspect, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the encores.
Especially after everything that's happened. Like, are you excited about it?
I'm excited.
It's hard.
It's La Cage aux Folles. An all-Black version of La Cage aux Folles. And we're doing it at City Center Encore Series first. Wayne Brady is starring opposite me. And it's a dream role that I've had for a really long time. And up until this point, you know, it's been all middle-aged white guys. So it's nice to come into this space and take one of these classics, what are considered classics in the Broadway lexicon, and
how are you with that schedule? Spin.
You know, if I'm being fully honest with you, 8 shows a week is hard. I've been doing it my whole life, though, and theater saved my life. So I have a real affinity.
I grew up doing it, like musical theater. I grew up in it. But I just, you know, I'm down for like, I don't want to hold the whole show, but I'll come out here and be like, yes! And then, and then like, okay, y'all got this, right?
So the specialty. You want to come in and blow the roof off.
I want to be a little diamond that shows up.
Stop the show and then go back to sleep.
I'm like, it's hard. It's so hard. So in honor of his Broadway performances, as well as his message of finding your voice, it's time to rate Billy's all-time favorite Broadway musicals to see. This is Rain.
Billy's best Broadway musicals.
For today, I have to say
I know.
Today.
We just said that. We always hate when people are like, what are your top 5 albums? I'm like, I don't know.
Everything is a competition.
I know.
It's today.
And it changes with your mood. Like, where am I at in life, you know? Well, today, this is where we are. So we're going to count them down, and Billy will tell his story for each and why he loved them.
Okay.
At number 5 of Billy's best Broadway musicals, is Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton, first of all, is a really modern, new, like it changed the game. That's the first thing. It's like first time hip hop is on Broadway. The second thing I love is that all my friends are in it. I didn't even get an audition. It's great. And then I went and I did The Warriors. Lynn called me for The Warriors, and I went in and I had a rap to do. And I finished my rap. He was like, yeah. You know, and I just looked at him and I said, you never called.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the kind of musical where you want to go back and listen.
Yeah.
And you hear it on the album, and then you go back, and it's an even better experience.
Dive in, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're even more impressed by the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's a wordsmith. He's like the modern Shakespeare of our time. I really believe it.
Yeah. Oh, that's nicely put.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah. So, okay, coming in at number 4 is West Side Story.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you love about this
West Side Story is one of the first musicals that I saw when I started doing musicals at Rosenstein Musical Theater. And the high school did it. And it was an all-black high school, so the Sharks and the Jets were just all black.
Yeah.
And Maria sang like Whitney Houston, so Maria belted the whole thing.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that that was like a legit head voice role until they did it with the real adults downtown at the Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera.
I mean, I'm not mad at seeing Whitney in it. I'm not mad at it.
And I went to see it and I was like, oh, this is real different.
Yeah.
This is real different. But I was moved just as much. And it was one of those times where I realized it's like everybody's voice and everybody's talent is valid when it's authentic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. It's transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at number 3, this is one of my favorites. For Billy's best musical is Gypsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Gypsy is one of the greatest, you know, when we say well-made, we're talking about structure, we're talking about entertainment value.
Let me entertain you.
We're talking about all the storytelling, like everything that sort of comes together.
Yeah.
And Gypsy is really a play, actually. When you break it down, it's really a well-made play with astonishing music. And, you know, the recent revival with Audra was really profound for me because once again, growing up at a certain time, and being a black performer, there wasn't a lot for us to do. And so to be cracking these classic musicals open and being able to tell these human stories.
Yeah.
It's not about being black or white or anything. It's about being human.
I don't care what anybody looks like, but I want you to sound good.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
It's a musical. Please sing.
Yeah.
Please sing well.
Okay, next at number 2 is Chorus Line.
Yes. Chorus Line is Michael Bennett. And that whole generation, directors-wise, they were very singular. And it was about telling the story with the people. And I'll never forget seeing it for the first time. There's a line across the stage. That's all the set is. And I think it's like 17 or 18 people on the line. And they go into this hour-and-a-half story. There's no break. And I remember coming out of it and the way that it's staged and the lighting and it's like, I thought I had just seen a movie.
Oh, I love that.
You know, it was like the way it was staged.
You got so lost in it.
But it was also so cinematic. You know, there were no big lumbering sets. There was nothing that needed to be moved around. There were no transitions with actual scenery. The transitions were the people. It was, as a director, that's when I realized I wanted to be a director.
Interesting.
It was like, it just blew my mind.
Okay, so at number 1 of Billy's best Broadway musicals is Dreamgirl.
Yeah. Also, Michael Bennett, he had towers, light towers on either side of the stage too, that were like, you know, concert.
Yeah.
Light towers. And they spun around and he shifted perspective and moved things around so that, you know, at one point you would be, you know, on stage, and then people would swirl around and the light towers would swirl around. They'd go around the other side of it, and all of a sudden you were backstage. Once again, I was watching something on stage that seemed like I was watching a movie. Like it was, you know, and also Black people who weren't slaves. Black people who weren't in the ghetto, no shade, but like they were strong, they were powerful, they were talented, they were beautiful, they were in gowns. I'll never forget seeing it before I saw the musical. I saw Jennifer Holliday on the Tony Awards and that whole, you know, and Loretta Devine and Sheryl Lee Ralph and Jennifer Holliday.
God, those women.
But they were all like, they were in these gowns, and I just, you know, I had never seen anything like it, and it changed the trajectory of my life.
There's nothing cooler than being moved like that.
Yeah, still to this day.
Okay, those were Billy's best Broadway musicals. He'll be back on Broadway soon, y'all. So in the meantime, you can buy his new kids book. It's called Songbird in the Light. It's out now wherever you buy your books, and everyone in our audience is going home with a copy.